The lights dimmed. A hush fell over the roaring crowd. Then, from the darkness, a figure emerged. The Black Masker. He moved like a wraith, his face hidden behind an expressionless mask. No entrance music, no flamboyant robe, just an aura of quiet menace. The Black Masker was different. He wasn't here to entertain. He was here to fight. And everyone in the arena, from the front row fans to the terrified ring announcer, could feel it. This wasn't a game. This was real. His presence was electrifying. He exuded an aura of danger, a palpable sense of unpredictability that set him apart from the rest. The Black Masker was an enigma, a force of nature that defied the conventions of the wrestling world. Professional wrestling thrives on spectacle, on larger-than-life characters and predetermined outcomes. But the Black Masker rejected this fabricated reality. He refused to follow the script. His matches were raw, visceral, and brutally honest. He turned the scripted world of professional wrestling on its head. Every grapple, every slam, every punch was real. You could see it in the eyes of his opponents. They weren't acting, they were afraid. His disregard for the choreography terrified promoters and thrilled fans. The matches were unpredictable, the outcomes uncertain. The Black Masker thrived in chaos. He was a force of nature unleashed within the confines of the squared circle. The fear the Black Masker instilled was palpable. Wrestlers, used to the staged combat of the ring, would visibly tremble when facing him. Stories circulated of opponents refusing to enter the ring with him, of seasoned veterans begging off shows. Iron Mike Steele, a man who built his career on a facade of invincibility, was reduced to a quivering mess after a particularly brutal encounter with the Black Masker. The look in Steele's eyes that night spoke volumes about the true terror he felt. Even the referee, a grizzled veteran who had seen it all, kept a wary distance. The Black Masker was an enigma, his motives as hidden as his face. No one knew what lurked beneath the mask, and no one dared find out. Section 4. The ironclad shadow forgotten by the Black Masker's eclipse. Lost in the shadow of the Black Masker's infamy was a wrestler named Gentleman Jack Sterling. Sterling was a technician, a master of holds and counters. He was elegance personified in the ring, but his style, subtle and nuanced, was lost in the wake of the Black Masker's brutality. Sterling's matches were clinics in technical wrestling. He could make an opponent tap out with a whisper, a subtle manipulation of a joint. His matches were chess matches, each move calculated, each counter anticipated. But in the world of professional wrestling, sometimes subtlety takes a back seat to spectacle. Sterling's brilliance was overshadowed, his artistry lost in the shuffle. Section 5. The legend endures fear, respect, and the price of greatness. The Black Masker's reign of terror was short-lived. He vanished as quickly as he arrived, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and broken bodies. Some whispered that he'd grown tired of the charade, that the brutality had become too real. But his impact on the world of professional wrestling was undeniable. He had exposed the industry's underbelly, revealing the raw, primal appeal of real violence. He had shattered the illusion, and in doing so, had become a legend. His legacy remains a topic of debate among fans and wrestlers alike. Was he a villain, a hero, or something else entirely? Perhaps the answer lies somewhere in between. Section 6. A final word, remembering the overshadowed. The Black Masker's story, however, is not the only one worth remembering. What about Gentleman Jack Sterling? A man whose talent was undeniable, but whose star was dimmed by the darkness of the Black Masker's shadow. It's a reminder that for every legend etched in the annals of history, there are countless others who are forgotten, their stories left untold. The Black Masker may have been a force of nature, but even the strongest storms cast shadows. And in those shadows, other stories wait to be told. The world remembers the Black Masker's fear. But what about Sterling's grace? Perhaps it's time we shine a light on those overshadowed figures, those whose brilliance was eclipsed by the darkness.